the challenge in kind of designing these races and trying to make them different is something that we're really set out to do. And so we've really tried to kind of get in there on the action.
Okay, so we'll cover from about here to here. You got it. It's no problem.
Dean Semler is one of the great cinematographers of all time, and he came up with methodology to put the camera inside the race.
We've created rigs that haven't been used. I mean, from taking a small Olympus camera and rigging it out on a stick, we call it our Ollie cam, and being able to kind of get places that, you know, typically you'd never be able to go with a camera.
We wanted to feel the dirt in our faces. We wanted to feel the speed that the horses are moving and the danger.
The camera's literally 6 to 12 inches from my face or the horse's head. When we did the shot behind, it took us like 5 takes to get it because the dirt flying back from the horse's hooves kept muddying up the lens.
Sometimes the hoof would hit the camera. I mean, that's how in there they were. You could almost feel it, taste it, smell it.
Hey, this is Al McGee with your entertainment ticket. Get us at www.yeticket.com. I'm here at beautiful Gulfstream Racetrack, and I'm going to interview people who made history with the horse Secretariat. In fact, I'm going to talk to Charlie. He's the original trainer of Secretariat. I'm going to talk to Kate. She's the daughter of Penny. Penny is actually the owner of Secretariat, and Kate is her daughter. And also, Otto, he's the guy who played the jockey in the movie. This is going to be fantastic. I can't wait. Hey, I'm with Charlie. He's the original trainer of Secretariat. And Charlie, tell us about Secretariat, some of your experience with Secretariat.
Well, when he first came off the farm, he's down the high layer. He was like a big, fat general horse. Nothing didn't bother him. I take him out there. Is that the rest of the horse went on by themselves, and he back there, he was just say, hey, I'm not in no hurry. I'm gonna take my time, and you know, and he did take his time. He said, well, I want to do it my way, so he did it his way.
Now, according to the movie, and that's what we hear because we celebrated the DVD of the movie, Secretariat is coming out on DVD. Did you recognize that this animal, Secretariat, was going to be a great champion?
No, no. To me, he was he was not so lazy, but he been like to take his own time. He said, we cannot win no money is in the morning. So wait till the afternoon. So that's what he did. So he did it his way. So, like I tell everybody, I may be wrong, I may be right. But I tell everybody, he was a horse. Do it the way he want to do it. When he get beat, he goes in the back of the stall, and he think. I believe he be thinking about it. Said,
really?
Yeah, he be thinking. He said he get in the back of the stall. He put his head down. He said, how can I make up the next one? Every time he get beat, he come back, he set a world record.
You never just pulled out the red horse. If a camera or the press were around, he knew it. And he was aware of his sight lines and camera lights.
First click of the camera, the ears would go up. He'd swell up and pose, you know, like, look at me, I'm the man. I mean, and he was, and he knew it. He put on a show.
He played around a lot. One day there with Eddie Sweat, he grabbed the rake and tried to pull the rake into the stall. and he had it halfway in, and Eddie grabbed the rake, and they're having a little bit of a tug of war there. And another time he did grab one of Eddie's brushes and ran to the back of the stall with it. And Eddie said, "Come back here, you dude, and give me back my brush." And the secretary, you know, well, he was really cute doing that.
He was not a horse. He was a human being to me. If he could have talked, oh man, he would have just tell you what he want to do, how he could have do it, and when he want to do it. They tell me that I was the first black man in history gallop 2 Derby horses back to back.
Well, congratulations. Yeah. And thank you for coming on Your Entertainment Ticket. And also thank you for being such a historic figure in the world of sports and horse racing. And Secretariat, the movie, was fantastic. It was one of my top. I'm glad to meet you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, any horse that can win the Derby, win the Princess, win the whole Triple Crown, but not in the faction of Secretary did.
Exactly.
Secretary did.
That was exciting.
Hey, I was excited.
Because you were there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, yes.
Now, Penny, I take full responsibility for having written something that you probably didn't say. When Penny, who is confronting, whether it's with actual words or in the sanctuary of her own heart, you are confronting. What does it matter beyond, you know, whether I get to have this Triple Crown or not?
It made a lot of hurts that I'd experienced as a child and growing up, made them all better. I love the line where she says, "I've already won." And I knew that. I knew that whether Secretariat won or lost, he'd won his personal battles.
So it's true.
Yeah.
How you doing, Kate? Welcome to Your Entertainment Ticket. Nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you.
Yeah. Well, you're here, first of all, your mom, Penny.
Yes.
She was the owner of Secretariat.
Yes, indeed.
And I know you were there those days. Tell us a little bit about your experience during those days.
Well, we were kind of torn because she had to commute from Colorado to Virginia.
Yeah.
They
portrayed
that in the movie. And that was hard on us, but at the same time, we knew she was doing something really important and that she loved and that it was fulfilling something that was terribly important to Granddaddy. So we sort of supported her, but my older sister and I, really sort of bore the brunt of, a lot of household stuff.
Yeah, they showed that in the movie.
Yeah, and that was fine. It was okay. It was sort of like that's what it was. And, when you're growing up, you don't know that it's unusual.
Yeah, and also you was growing up and that was happening. You didn't realize you was making history at that time.
No, well, of course, that was... every race that Secretariat ran he showed us something new. So Mom knew early on, but the rest of us were sort of like, okay, well, great, he did great. And then, oh, wow, he did even better. Oh, wow, look at that. And suddenly we were at the morning of the Belmont, and I remember thinking, oh my gosh, we might win the Triple Crown today. And it was just unbelievable. It was just one of these events that it's almost like being struck by lightning, but in a good way,
Exactly. Now, you saw the movie. How'd you feel about the movie?
We were really pleased with it. They had to change a few things. They kept reminding us it's not a documentary. But they only changed unimportant things, I think, or things that didn't change the heart of the story. They really captured the essence of Mom's experience and the horse and the feeling of the times, I thought, and they were very sensitive to the conflict between Mom and Dad. Mm-hmm. I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah, I thought they did a very good job also. In fact, it's one of the best movies that I've seen in 2010.
Wonderful.
Now, we're out here to celebrate the coming of the DVD, which is on Blu-ray.
Yep.
And now they got some outtakes. Did you see the DVD Blu-ray yet?
I haven't seen it, no. I'm looking forward to it, but I was there when they recorded some interviews with Mom that they were going to put in the DVD, and I'm eager to see if those are in there or not.
Okay.
Yeah, so we saw some of the extra material as it was being filmed.
Now, you wrote this book, Secretariat's Medal.
Sure did.
What is this book about?
Well, this book sort of takes off where Bill Knack's book leaves off. It's Bill Knack is the book that he wrote the book the movie's based on. Mm-hmm. He's a great writer, he's a sports writer. This is the family story, the family version. It starts way back, and it was my answer to the question of, how did this amazing animal come to our family? How did we get so lucky? So it really goes back to pretty early to try to sort of understand the roots of it. And what the conclusion I came to is that it takes a village to raise a champion, just like it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes.
And so we interviewed all the grooms, we interviewed all the folks who worked at the farm, we interviewed the folks who'd known Granddaddy when he was in his prime, and then we also go through Secretariat's career and end up with a chapter about what happened after, because a lot of folks want to know that too. You know, what happened to Secretariat, how long did he live, all that. So it's really kind of everything before the movie and everything after.
Wow, that's great. Yeah. I see excited. You got your fans, they all lining up. They get an autograph and everything. Like just one more question.
Sure.
Now, when that happened, and you went back to school, went back to all your friends.
Yeah.
How did you feel, and what happened?
Well, it's interesting because the rest of my life was very normal. You know, I went to graduate school, I became a lawyer, I worked, I had kids, and then, you know, I ended up deciding I'd rather be teaching. So and I raised my family in suburban Denver. Actually, I lived all over the place, moved back to Denver. But so I've had a very normal life, and that's part of why I wanted to write the book. It was like, did that really happen to us? You know, because and then the movie, of course, has brought it all back, and it's exciting and thrilling. It's a roller coaster ride all over again.
Wow, great.
Yeah.
Well, Kate, thank you very much.
Thank you
I'm
so
glad
much.
to meet you.
Well, it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Now, this is one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie, and it didn't seem to work for the whole movie in terms of the flow, but boy, was it a great scene to film. It was so much fun to see these actors do this. And what happened was, we were filming on the racetrack. It was toward the end of the schedule, and we were going so quickly. We were getting so much done. And watch Otto bounce the ball off the face of his club. And one of the cameramen had gone and played golf with Otto and said, Otto is just a great golfer. So we had gotten ahead of ourselves in the filming so that we had an open morning and we couldn't get into the stables and couldn't get onto the racetrack until after 11 o'clock. And our call for the crew was early in the morning, and I didn't want them standing around with nothing to do. So I put together this scene and thought we would film it and see if any kind of magic happened. And magic did happen. Otto was wonderful in playing off of Lucian's character. John just made so much surprise entertainment happen in his portrayal of Lucian, and Lucian trying to teach Ronnie to play golf. And we went out and filmed them doing it, and we all loved it. It's just that it was not part of the flow. And here are Mike Boyd and Mike Mills, our costume designer, and our makeup expert, who we had out on the golf course to be the guys that Lucian drives the cart through.